ladies and gentlemen, gamers and champions. Welcome to the 2024 Honor of Kings Open Series Split 1. Get ready to see the convergence of skill and strategy as teams from various realms come together to compete for glory. This is your chance to witness the rise of Titans and be part of this ongoing epic. The road to the final will unfold in 2 stages, the round of 16 to the finals and the grand finals. In the first stage, 4 regions will take part. Turkey, EEU will compete on May 16th to 17th, followed by MENA and the mysterious wildcard on May 18th to 19th. Only the 2 most resilient teams from each region will advance to the prestigious EMEA Regional Finals, which will be held from May 30th till June 2nd. 8 teams will face off in an electrifying offline showdown. A staggering prize pool of $23,000 is waiting for those who are brave enough to seize it. Those who demonstrate unparalleled skill and control of the game. Join us, witness the path journey of champions and of history in the making.
From the east and to the west, let's see which ones are the cut above the rest. Hi everyone, you're watching the Honor of Kings Open Series Wildcard Split 1. We're gonna be your casters. I'm Yuko, alongside me is Blam. So, Mr. Blam, how are you today?
I'm fantastic, thank you very much. Very much looking forward to these matches. As you can see, I have a flowery top on because it's not normally this sunny in the UK, and I believe it's going to get hotter with these matchups, to be honest. So very excited.
Okay, to be fair, I have air conditioning here, so I'm wearing a blazer. But again, we're going to be showing you the standings so far for the Wildcard Split 1. Here are our 2 best of 3s for later today. So what are your thoughts about these matchups?
Well, to be honest, I mean, the first matchup, we don't really know much about these teams. So we have Omega Nemesis going against Chaos. So I've tried to dig deep to try and find some backstory between these players, between these teams. I cannot find a single thing. But then we have Freezing Esports against what is predominantly a big brand within Honor of Kings, All Gaming. We saw them obviously play at KPL today in the finals, but this is obviously not their super play team. This is a Hong Kong team. So again, this roster is stacked with some previous players from one team roster. So again, being my reference of all my learning, which is from the KIST 2023 championship, one team did not drop a single round. So for me, I mean, that's a very hopeful team to look out for.
Exactly. Very promising. I mean, they have the almost perfect run, if not the perfect run. So expectations are definitely on their side. So now let's talk about the meta. Now, obviously, the meta varies per region. But do you have any expected combos or specific picks for tonight?
I mean, I know 2 things are for certain, that the Chow and Dolia will more than likely get banned throughout the entire of today. But before we get into that, let's have a look at this little roster. So we are going to get the roster on the board now. So for Omega Nemesis, we have the likes of Easy Baby, we have Pegasus, we have also MZK919 and Tommy there. So that is the team roster for Omega Nemesis. And then looking over to Chaos, we have Bappa, Hoon, Ray, Atom, and Cyber. So again, that is your familiarize with these faces, because these could be future champions within the Honor of Kings global esports. So again, I think that's one thing that really makes me excited for this game, is the fact that it's global, it's new, and there's many places for rising stars. So I'm very much looking forward to it.
Same. I can't wait to see how, the rotations, how they actually farm the combos and everything. Not to brag, but I used to spam Shangguan and Princess Frost now. I was expecting to see them today, but looking at the history of the bans, I don't think we're gonna be seeing Frost. If we do though, she's probably blue side first pick worthy, right?
Oh, absolutely. It always seems to be a trending fashion is that Frost is definitely a blue side pick. But you could see the likes of Ganmo. Ganmo has been a great big pick within the mid lane. Obviously, Mai as well. Mai is definitely one of the flashier heroes. So again, there is still some great heroes to be performed here, like the Dio-chan as well. Lady Shen has started to rear her head out as well a little bit. But like you say, Princess Frost is definitely... Yeah, I don't know if we're going to see that hero come through. It may be a no-show at some point.
We can only hope, but I think that's the reason why Lady Zen is the one being picked up. She's kind of like Princess Frost, but not really. Still has that freeze quite literally. And we already talked about the mid laners. I think another good pick recently is Kong Ming, or at least from my region. We've been seeing a lot of rotations, and the scaling is a little bit slower, but the power is still definitely there. But now let's talk about Rome. I've been looking at the stream these past few days. Dahlia, she barely gets banned, but if she is open, she gets picked up. Her ultimate, the Celestial Melody, as well as the Wave Breaker, just helps so much in these team fights, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, going through season 1, again, a big hero that had been banned quite a lot. So when we did see the Dahlia come through, it was generally paired with Lu Bu and anybody that could sort of like take advantage of that double ultimate. So again, it's just one of those heroes that I don't think as a global scene yet people have kind of got their heads around Dahlia. Only a certain few players generally go, okay, she's open, let's go for it. And then other teams are kind of like, okay, she's open, I don't want to go for it. I'm not too comfortable with that one. Let's just go Zhongfei. That's what it seems to be anyway.
Agreed. Aside from Zhongfei, I mean, he's late game. As a Dahlia user, I'm scared. Okay, his life lasts for like best of 75 matches. That's not legal. That's too strong. But aside from that, of course, they also have been picking up Zhuangzi solely because of the Purify. If you have a lot of CC on the opponent's side, so it's a lot of these combinations, honestly, that I really am looking forward to see. But do you have any specific favorites for the jungle? Now, that's not my strong suit, so I want to see your thoughts about this.
So with jungle, I mean, it generally seems to be a Lamb, definitely being a prio ban or a prio pick for both multiples of these teams through open series, sorry. Again, they don't really go for flashy jungle heroes like we see in other scenes. So Jing has a bit of a rest. You don't see the likes of Pei come through as well. They generally resort for picks like Dun, that's very safe. Being able to use his ult to actually clear the jungle and clear the walls a bit faster. So trying to get rotating around to those lanes to give assistance to some of the lanes as well. So again, not many flashy picks. I'm hoping for the flashiest of picks to come through with all gaming, to be honest. If we're going to see any flashy picks, I think it's going to be that team.
Since you already mentioned the flashy picks, I think from the MENA region, we did see a Prince of Lanling come through. I mean, I'm terrified to see that hero, honestly, in my rank game, solely because of the potential. But hey, you just have to work around it. It's definitely one of those heroes that will scale very, very well in the early game. But now let's see who will get to scale and who will get to utilize their lineup for our first series game number 1. Now, the first ban, they don't need her Whirlpool, okay? They banned out Dakiao.
Yep, exactly. It's like I've been here before. The Dacho ban comes through as a prio ban on the blue side, and then Lamb on the red side. So again, will we see Princess Frost last these next 2 ones? Because Dolly has just been selected as well. So again, it's like I've just been thrown back into a time pool, and I'm back casting season 1 invitationals, because there are the 2 predominant bans on the blue side throughout the entire of that tournament, and same seems to be here for Wildcard Split 1 within the open series. It's going to be interesting to see what Omega Nemesis ban here. Are they going to ban out the Frost, or are they going to go for a Clash lane? Oh no, so okay, Heino again, another hero that doesn't get played that often. I've only seen it being played frequently within Brazil. So again, I don't generally see this hero come through too often within our regions.
Honestly, for the PH region, Haino gets banned out a lot as well because of how crazy he is. But someone that's not banned right now is Kaiser, and that is the first pick prio for our blue side. I mentioned Frost, wink wink, maybe we might see a pickup. But aside from that, there's Zhang Fei, there's actually Arlie
Oh.
available as well. And there you go. I see my princess this game, number one.
Exactly. I mean, what more could you want? You're literally getting that pick that you thought that you may not get desired throughout the entire of these two series today. And there we go. Game one, Princess Frost comes through. Zhang Fei, the hero that you fear the most, being a Dolia main. And then we ever go and look over to the blue side. So again, as we were saying in the introduction, Ganmo generally fills that mid lane. Again, Ganmo has been a bit of a touch and go pick with me. It seems like
Mhm.
some players can play him very well from a distance because obviously this is a hero that its ultimate pushes you away from people, and then obviously with those enhanced long range abilities, it's there to sort of try and pick off these low level disengaging heroes in those great team fights. And obviously blue side picking up the Derenji, again another big pick in the farm lane for the open series.
It seems like they love their space. Okay, they really want to be able to maximize the space given within the game. But someone that wants to jump in close is Dharma. That's a pickup for our red side here. Sunbin has been banned by Omega Nemesis here as well. I mean, with the ultimate and all of those burst, you really don't want that here available. But Pei being banned out by 7C.
Yeah, so I think the Sunbin is definitely a Sunbin ban. Sorry, is definitely a call and response to the Kaiser pick there because obviously they don't have the Dolia. Generally, people go for the Sunbin because it pairs and synergizes very well with Kaiser. Obviously, the movement speed, the heal, the damage over time as well. And then we're locking into those last two bans for both of the teams. And Elaine, again, is quite a new Clash laner within HoK Global. Still, we see some people struggle to play him, but generally, again, a flashier Clash lane. And then Dun, a very safe pick for the jungle there over on the side of Omega Nemesis, being taken off the board there. And then obviously we've got a potential Arlie lock-in. Okay, so flashy farm lane against Derenji. I've seen this pair up happen quite frequently within the open series, and most times out of 10, Derenji takes it very early.
Agreed. And well, I think the reason why Arlie gets picked up recently is number one, it's difficult to catch this beautiful lady. Okay, Autumn Storm pushes away, Maple Dance that knocks off projectiles. It's definitely a problem. However, I did see a hover on Mayin, but it looks like they are switching over possibly to a Byron. But of course, I'm gonna have to agree with the Lee and Poe pickup here. Burst Ram, Magma Slam, Tremor Smash. He is definitely your guy when it comes to close matchups.
Yeah, Liam Poe is definitely one of those heroes that I eat my heart out for. Honestly, it's a great
Mhm.
engage hero in the support lane as well. But looking at that, they don't really have the necessity of heal on the side of the blue team. They only have a
Yeah.
really strong engage. So if we're going to go off of that picture as a whole, that this is going to be a really aggressive attempt for blue side because they've got the engage of Liam Poe. Again, Byron, we know, is a very aggressive Clash lane within those late
Mhm.
game team fights. And then you've got the likes of Gammo who can try and pick up those stranded runaways within the disengage. And again, Kaiser with the fantastic engage as well. So you've got a very strong front line. You've got Byron that can clean up, Ganmo that can clean up, and Derenji that can basically start the whole thing off with a lot of damage, especially with a lot of the abilities that have been, or items that get utilized with that hero.
Agreed. And of course, DRNG second, I think that's legal immunity. If ever he is in a tight place or he is forced to move around, he will be able to jump his way into safety. But this is gonna be our first draft for the first game and first series. Again, we hope you guys are excited because we definitely are. This is a best of three. Let's see if we're gonna reach 3 games. Do you want us to
Welcome
reach
to
3
Honor
games
of
tonight,
Kings.
Mr. Blam?
I mean, if we're looking at 7 Chaoses, or Chaos, Team Chaos, I'm going to call them, even though their logo is a 7 in the C, but on Liquipedia, it's coming up as Chaos. They have, with true fashion, throughout the entire of the Open Series, been the only team in this bracket to actually play every game since round 1, and they've only ever played 2-1 victories. So we could see a full best of 3 straight away, Yuko. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they do it because, again, like I was saying in the draft, this blue side draft is very aggressive. So are they going to go for that first 1-0 victory and then maybe play a little bit safer within the second game? It's still yet to be seen. But Derenji taking a lot of damage down there in the farm lane, going 1v1 against the Arlie.
Oh, you don't want to move around against an Arlie this early on. But something I did notice is Lian Po did pick up Magma Slam just to be able to stun and, provide CC for his team. Other than that, the farm laners are still pretty chill. Someone that's literally chill is actually Princess Frost. Can't wait to see what will happen once she is at level 4. Winter is here will definitely be a crucial part for the match. Ray will try to, I don't think they're actually gonna fight. They're just gonna be clearing out minions. And one thing I noticed, by the way, usually the Clash laners early game, they have their own little world. Unless the jungler visits. I see you, Musashi. The attempt was withdrawn, but I think I see what their plan is for Byron this early on.
Yeah, generally when we get that function happening in the early game, it's generally a spoken thing of things to come, because when you start to see those junglers rotate around, they want to get their Clash laner respectively ahead of the enemy Clash lane. And to be fair, what Clash lane would you rather have ahead, Adama or Byron? You would obviously, being on the team with Byron and Musashi, you want that Dharma, because we've been seeing that hero being played fantastically throughout the whole of the Open Series. I forgot which series it was, but there was triple kills picked up. There's a lot this hero can do, and there's a lot that it can't do when you're pairing it with a player that isn't as high risk, high reward as some of these players that pick up the Dharma.
It's all about the empowered BAs, right? Basic attacks and all of that. We did see earlier Atom, he was dangerously low, but 2 minutes in, no casualty still. Okay. Looks like both teams are very, very careful. They will just be doing their best to maybe get some vision. I see Atom being spotted out here as well. Again, Magma Slam is going to be available for the side of 7C. Princess Frost makes her way down into the farm lane. That will be Shattered Eyes already being used. Let's see, will Frigid Prison connect onto anyone? But so far, no full-on aggression. Probably waiting for the signal from Arlie.
Yeah, either wait for the signal for Arlie or that 4-minute mark for when the Tyrant does come up, because we generally see a big hog around that Tyrant. If we don't see a clear up in the farm lane, so if we don't see one team actually pushing ahead and actually making an advancement in that farm lane, it then generally becomes a fight for that Tyrant. And at that point, will we see the enemy jungler or the respective jungler just go straight for the Overlord? Is yet to be seen, but Musashi helping himself to some of the blue side jungle farm there. He is looking to gain as much gold as he can to pocket it and get far ahead as against the Kaiser as well.
Just a normal day for a Dharma as well as a Musashi. They're just doing things very close to their books, but you have MZK right now tight-knit with Frost, which is Pegasus. Now they're making their way into the mid lane, but Atom, hello, sir. That was so close for comfort, but at least he was not the first blood. There is an attempt, though, for Pegasus here. The range from Gun and Mo from Bapa is definitely something Pegasus needs to look out for, but with that, it looks like ON has first dibs on the objective. For now, they will just shake hands. No full-on team fights yet. They love their farming. They love their peace. Fights will come in later.
Again, I think that was a direct consequence of Derenji taking so much damage in that farm lane there. So again, making your enemy team's farm lane have to recall. But again, Lian Po maybe get caught out here in this 3v2. He went into the wrong bush. Cyber A does fall victim to first blood, and it doesn't look like there's going to be any trade on the side of 7C either. Unless Kaiser can pick up something here with the help of Hoon. Can they get a 2v1? No, Musashi slips away out of that Sage buff camp as well. They are a slippery team, Omega Nemesis.
Slippery is definitely the word here, but let's see who will get to slide into their opponent's side. That's going to be Agudishi coming in from Dharma. And with that, that's going to be 2K. 2 kills going over to Arlie, to Tom. Good combo on the Maple Dance and Lunar Recall, but looks like they want more. That will be a jump in again. And with that, looks like he will try to jump away. Cyber A is safe. He is A-okay.
Yep, they're copying the slippery movements there on the side of 7C. They kind of need to do that because they are 3 kills behind. Kaiser here maybe falling victim to a 4v1, but fortunately, it's not looking like Kaiser's going to be the victim. Is it going to be that mid-game turret? Mid-lane turret goes down. Again, such a vital objective to lose at 6 minutes in, almost.
Exactly. The shortest lane already missing the outermost turret. A very good frigid prison placement from Pegasus as well was able to stop Cyber A, Bappa, from trying to move in further towards the mid. With that, 7C, they are kind of clumped in into the mid lane, but Hoon has a little 1v1 against Easy Babby. It looks like he will just have to raise the white flag, take a step back, and just take the neutral jungle creeps and maybe a buff. I'm not so sure. They're feeling pretty confident right now.
Yeah, it's the beautiful thing with HoK. It doesn't matter what buff camp you go for, it's generally a given and it is precious to everybody, especially the blue buff, because obviously cooldown reduction, mana regen, means you don't have to go back, but Jiangfei's putting a lot of pressure onto Kaiser here, and then also Liam Po is being whittled down with all that damage there. Dharma coming over the wall onto Hoon. Oh, there we go. Absolutely dodging the Ganmo projectiles there, but Derenji is not done yet. Is he going to pick up one of these kills as a respected call and response for 7C? It's not looking like it. They are still sat on a non-starting 0 against 5 kills.
0 and 5. I agree. They're still probably looking for that that good fight or that good pick-off. However, I did see a good tremor smash coming in from Lian Po earlier on. But Ray does get spotted out here. Tom says, hello. Yeah, the projectiles from Arlie's umbrella, you don't want that. That hurts a lot. And remember, she has Autumn Storm available, so she can jump in and out whenever she wants to. I thought Ray was gonna take a step back, but it looks like ON, they really want to jump in and storm into the mid lane. Maybe they might transition over to our clash lane because that is where Byron and Kaiser is. It is an opportunity to lock them in. Race very, very low, and there you go. Good coming in for the Maple Dance to be a double kill going over to Dharma. You also have Winter is here, perfectly placed by Pegasus. With that, it's 5 now, 7 kills going over to ON. But of course, they want more. Now you have Zhang Fei storming in the back line, in the front line, unbridled outburst already being used. He does not even care about 1 or 2 turret hits. He just wants to get those 1 or 2 kills.
It means nothing to Zhang Fei. He's just shaking them off like dust on the shoulder. But honestly, I don't think there is a way back for 7C here. And as you can see, it kind of feels like the Liam Po's given up there, just absolutely thinking, you know what? I mean, you've got almost 7k gold difference ahead of us already. What's another few hundred against enemy teammates? Like, just take me down. But here, it seems like an overall domination for the side of Omega Nemesis. They have all lanes pushed to the second tier, turrets here. Farm lanes, turrets literally hanging on by the skin of its teeth. So again, that gold difference, the tempo difference, the absolute rotation from Omega Nemesis is just a whole different breed.
They really have the control, and I do agree with what you said earlier. And as we've mentioned, they're able to clear out the buff, and they will transition over into another huge objective, while Dharma, Easy Babby, is just keeping the enemies at bay. You know, it's these types of matches that I'm honestly worried, because I'm gonna emphasize their lineup, okay? That is a Musashi with Niten Ichiru. You also have an Arlie, again, all of those burst damage, and she's very, very slippery. You also have MZK, very, very tanky. Unbridled Outburst even has Leaping Savior for all of that combo, but looks like that's going to be a spot out for Cyber A. You have the Immunity coming in, that's gonna be the launch connecting in as well. Winter is here being set out. Everyone is actually in the mid lane. Killing spree going over to Tom. A lot of damage coming in indeed. Crucial crowd control coming in for the side of the red team. 2K actually going over to Tom, and it looks like from 1, 2, 3, 4, now it's 5 kills going over to the side of Omega Nemesis. 3 kills, a triple kill going over to Arlie, and 2K for Easy Babby, which is Dharma. A 10-minute ace, and actually, Days goes straight in, they get the crystal, and they get game number 1.
I mean, throughout the draft, we honestly thought the blue team was going to be that aggressive team comp. However, Omega Nemesis definitely painted a different picture. So again, it is a great start there for the side of Omega Nemesis there on the red team. Again, picks like the Arlie, the Dharma, very aggressive picks by Omega Nemesis and showing what they do best.
Agreed. You know, I guess it's really just the early game. We've seen DRNG multiple times. He had to back away in the early game just so he will be safe from Arlie. And I could say, you know, he has to get respect the law, has legal immunity, but I think he was not able to utilize that earlier on. I was expecting a lot of good plays from Byron. So maybe it looks like we are gonna have to, you know, look for what works for them coming into game number 2. But for Omega Nemesis, I have to say that was quite a game number 1. I do agree with what you said earlier. It seems like it's like they already know what they're doing. Okay, rotations were definitely on point. They were able to maximize and utilize their lineup, and momentum is definitely on their side.
Absolutely, but like I was saying in the introduction, 7 Chaos have won the entire of their rounds 2-1, so whether they always give up that first round just to be like, you know what, we play with our food, we're going to get another 2 back-to-back wins. But again, I think if they stick with a familiar team comp like this, they could just perfect that, basically have a better early game performance, because we know that Omega Nemesis, just looking back at these highlights again, just had the rotation, the tempo, everything was just working like a well-oiled machine, and there was no fault that I had there for Omega Nemesis because they were just on point. Every factor of that game completely went into the favor of Omega Nemesis. Do I have an MVP? I would probably have to give it to either Arlie or Dharma.
Oh, I have to agree. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to go with Dharma just because I've seen all the combos that he did earlier on. Definitely helped his team, and you know, all of those combos, the stun even. It was the perfect setup, okay, for Tom. I mean, look at this double kill. They even jumped in. MZK, we mentioned, he does not care about turret hits. He definitely has it in the bag, and these are our team stats. Again, Omega Nemesis was able to bag game number 1, 5-0-3 on this Arlie, but I have to say it, I'm sorry, I'm using Princess Frost, so 1-0-10 for Pegasus. Winter is here, all of those combos, those CCs were definitely utilized by Omega Nemesis.
Yeah, I mean, the Princess Frost was almost kind of like it was trying to, as if they knew that they were going to go for this very aggressive team comp, because again, Princess Frost has the nuke damage, she has the AoE slow as well. So again, it's as if they knew what was coming or what was waiting for them before Chaos, which, to be honest, if teams like these scrim together, they generally get a feel for what they're going to play and how they're going to play it. And clearly, Omega Nemesis have done their research, have gotten a lot of knowledge onto their enemy team, but there we go. Sometimes the support player does get overshadowed, and an MZK on the Zhongfei, not to be a poet, but I do know it, gets the MVP for Omega Nemesis.
Definitely deserve that MVP title. And hey, we mentioned him a lot of times. You know, he was able to save his team in a tight niche, was able to initiate when it is definitely necessary. Forbidden Domain, I believe, as well as Unbridled Outburst really helped a lot for Omega Nemesis. And with that was just game number 1, ladies and gentlemen. That was very intense, but we're gonna hop into a very short break, and when we come back, we're gonna jump into game number 2.
Welcome back, everybody, to what is still potentially a best of three between Chaos and Omega Nemesis. I am Blam, and with me is still Yuko, as always. How are we feeling after that match, Yuko?
Okay, honestly, I love best of threes. Okay, I love seeing 2-1s. However, I won't be surprised if Omega Nemesis will be able to push this to a 2-0, just because that momentum is crazy, man. Even the draft, again, I've said it multiple times before the break. They just really know the ins and outs of their lineup. But with the side switch, let's see what adjustments will 7C do. You know what? Honestly, I'll ask you that, Mr. Blam. What should 7C do to be able to push this to a game number 2?
I mean, other than prayer between the match, I'm pretty not sure what they can do other than like ban those great picks that were on the game one on the side of Omega Nemesis, and we're already seeing it already, like the Ali. Prince of Landling on the blue side as a prio pick is either a comfort ban for the side of Omega Nemesis, whether it be a sort of a soft spot or a weakness for the team. But obviously, we didn't see Prince of Langling get picked, or the Mai Shiranui as well. So again, they're getting some really off picks here, but they seem to prioritize these on the blue side rather than the likes of the Dolia or the Chow. Again, it's like I'm Nostradamus. There's the Dao Chan pick again. Again. But now it is blue side. Will we get that Princess Frost as a prio pick once again for Omega Nemesis on the blue side?
Ooh, still be a lamb because hey, junglers are the top priority apparently. But I have to say, Dahlia is available if ever 7C wants to pick her up. I mean, again, I've said this earlier, Celestial Melody. Who else would not want a 30-second cooldown to become 0 in 0.5 seconds? So maybe that's something 7C could pick up, but I forgot Hino is available. Fate Rewind is definitely a problem if ever they do get to utilize it, but Kaiser Foray will still be picked up. We mentioned Princess Frost earlier on, and well, Zhang Fei. So it will still be the same for Omega Nemesis.
I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The Zhang Fei was a not only MVP worthy that we completely overlooked. We are sorry, MZK. Please forgive us. But again, I think it's a solid pick, and a lot of these players know this within Global. There's a lot of support players that pick the Zhang Fei as a go-to. It is a safe pick. It's a fantastic front line. It's obviously gives shield to your squishier heroes as well. But again, picking up the Princess Frost, I think, was a definite anyway for Omega Nemesis. But there we go. We do get the mermaid singing her song this time around in game 2. And paired with the Kaiser, we could see some unkillable Kaiser action in game 2.
Exactly, a possible thing to happen. And we mentioned how Dharma was really good in game number 1. He was my personal MVP, but looks like 7C says no. No one will throw punches this time around. We see what you're doing, Omega Nemesis. We need to take out one hero, Mayin, being banned out as well by Omega Nemesis. They really are focusing on these strong Clash laners. But the last ban for 7C will be Marco Polo. Looks like there's no fevered barrage in the game right now.
Yeah, so with the Ali being taken off of the board there, and obviously Marco Polo, it then also now gives light to heroes in the farm lane still. Will Direnji now be the go-to pick for the blue side after they finish this ban here? But no, they're looking to fill out that Clash lane, but you got the likes of Direnji, Consort U generally comes through as well, or maybe we'll even get a late game farm laner like Lady Sun. But it looks like 7C want to fill out that Clash lane straight away.
Byron could still be a good pick. I mean, you mentioned how well he is in the meta, and he didn't perform too bad in game number 1 anyway, but Lian Po will now be hovered. Yeah, it's good to be able to secure that, but I stand corrected. DRNG will still be making his way into game number 2. Ooh. All right. Now, we have Lee Shin being picked up by Omega Nemesis. They are going all in for the possible final game for series number 1, and there is a hover on Luban number 7, but I would have my money on either Huoyi. Garo is okay, but she is way deep into the late game for her damage. I mean, I don't like those super late game heroes, so I think Huoyi is the better pick.
I mean, we may not like those late game heroes, but Tom is definitely one to finesse the late game heroes, but he's going to play it safe. He's going to go for the Hu Yi. I don't think the Luban would actually make much sense here because they only have the one tank, like the Kaiser. Obviously, Luban is a direct counter to that hero, but they're looking to go for a very aggressive attack speed orientated hero like the Hu Yi, and obviously paired with that fantastic ultimate as well. So the further it travels, the longer that stun. So if you are that poor unsuspecting victim of Hu Yi's ultimate stun, that's it. It's probably game over for you because you're probably going to have a Lamb on you. You're going to have Zhongfei as well. So it's pretty much just pray that they don't hit you with that long range stun from Hu Yi.
I like how you mentioned that. Basically, if you get stunned, you will pray to anyone and anything that you will survive. And, you know, maybe the Burning Sun arrow will go over to Atom. Could go to whom? We'll never know. But what we do know is this is the final lineup for game number 2. I love the adjustments that 7C did this time around. Let's see how well they'll be able to utilize this Hino as well as this Dahlia. I mean, you know, it's all about the early game, being able to hit the opponents first. But let's see, again, I mentioned that Omega Nemesis, they performed really well in game number 1, and they had a draft that's not too different from what we saw in game number 1. Like what you said, why fix what's not broken?
Absolutely. But I think the blue side, so Omega Nemesis there, have kind of got the enemy team's build pretty much had to be locked down here because there needs to be some sort of anti-heal on the side of C, because not only do you have the likes of Lamb with the fantastic HP regen, you have Li Xin as well. So again, two great heroes played by two great players, shown from last match, or last game, sorry. But again, just to revisit the Hu Yi's ultimate, the only person you don't really would want to be hitting is that Durenji, because I mean, if you get hit by it, cleanse it with skill 2, baby. That's it. It's pretty much negated the whole flash of Hu Yi's ultimate. But again, we are getting that mid lane, early game, trading blows. It's just pretty much signature to HoK.
Agreed. Oh, okay. Looks like it's, yeah, I'm not too surprised if they're like this in the early game. I mean, they were very calm and collected way back game number 1. Could do the same for game number 2. And well, there is a Dahlia with the ode. They have that push back right on cue. Cyber was able to pop in with that ode, but of course Hino won't just let that one go. But with that, looks like Omega Nemesis, they decided to just back away, or for Lamb, he decided to just swim away.
Swim away, indeed. I think that's probably for the best here. Catching out, maybe not even suspecting Pegasus in that brush. Could this be... Oh, no, it's not going to quite be there because the range on Hu Yi's ability there just did not quite land onto Cyber A, and luckily for the side of 7C, they don't want to be victim to another first blood. They want to serve up that first blood to the side of Omega Nemesis to let them know they are not down yet. They are ready to take a round from Omega Nemesis. But again, I just want to visit the Hainu pick. We see it more so in Brazil than we do in global, but when we do see it in the Brazilian region, we generally see it played in the jungle and built like a tank. VKS Danny played it very well in the last week's CHoK VR 2024, which I was really shocked by. I was like, yo, build tank, Hainu, amazing, and played it very well. So again, I'm looking for players that pick up on that knowledge of the Brazilian scene, because as we know, other than China scene, that's the scene that has the most knowledge, has the most skilled players. Yet obviously it's only time will tell that global will replicate those kind of picks, those kind of mishmash of the builds, or like building a mage with tank. You don't normally see it.
Exactly. But you know, if it works, you might as well try it. And I think
Mm.
Haino is all about that poke and, you know, jump in and out. I mentioned this leap of fate as well as fate rewind is all about being able to push and maybe sustain, you know, your team, just jump in and out of fights like that. Maybe we might see it here in the global pretty soon. But what we are seeing right now is no one is dying just yet. Really, really similar to what we saw in game number one. But that was the ode being popped in by Dahlia, by Cyber A. But now it looks like they are making their way into the mid lane. They do have their eyes
Ooh.
set on Princess Frost, on Pegasus, but MZK again with the save, being the good roamer that he is.
Absolutely. The support plays on MZK is really showing just respect to the support role, to be honest, as he's there. He's not just sticking down in the farm lane where we saw a lot. That was basically the go-to of Season 1 Invitational was everybody just stay down in the bot lane. Everyone just stay in your lane. Maybe support will come in to help in the mid lane. But again, Ray maybe getting caught out here, being pushed back by the Lamb. I don't think Dolly's going to be able to make it up in there in time to proc that second ultimate for Kaiser, but still manages to slip away with the help of Haino.
Yeah, Scepter of Fate definitely helped him a lot here. But for now, looks like they just have their eyes set on the objectives. You know, this Lamb, very, very sneaky. All of those plays. I do remember seeing a game, I think, way back in the PH region. Multiple times, Lamb would target Dahlia just so she won't be able to use her ultimate. And I think we might see those later on. Ode again being popped. MZK does get spotted out, but that will be the ultimate coming in. Burning Sun Arrow does connect, but with that, the objective has been stolen, and another kill will get stolen as well. First blood going over to Zhang Fei, but now they want more. They smell blood, they get more blood. That's the kill going over to Lam Haino. Gets bursted down, but Ray on this Kaiser trying to get away, but still the kill going over to Omega Nemesis. 3-0 now, 5 minutes in, and maybe one turret.
Omega Nemesis set the expectation in game one, and they are still fulfilling that same expectation in game two. Currently up with 3 kills against 0. 7Cs backs against the wall. They really need to fix this early game. I mean, we're no longer in the early game. This is now trekking towards your mid game within HoK, but still the same detriment. Again, the same MO from ON is that mid lane turret goes down first, and then obviously farm lane, it falls victim as well. So again, opening up so much vision for your enemy jungle. And when you have Lamb on your team, having that mid lane turret gun just means you are open up to a lot more farm, a lot more gank potentials. It's pretty much endless. The possibilities are endless here for 919 on the side of Omega Nemesis.
Agreed, agreed. You know, I'm starting to realize this. They love their first mid lane turret takedowns. Like, it's something which we even saw in game number one. But right after that, they rotated over to the Clash lane to get one more turret. MZK gets spotted out, is actually in the middle of 3 heroes, but he does not care. Looks like 919 does have his eyes set on Ray. That's him the kill going over to Pegasus. But with now, that will be Winter is here. Dahlia does keep us down as well. You have Lamb coming in with Empty and Execution. You have Princess Frost's actually passive connecting. That was a 4-2 none in favor of Omega Nemesis. And with that, looks like they will push in further to the mid lane. Hoon on the Charlotte, the only one left alive.
Yeah, I don't think a single Charlotte against a Princess Frost, a Zhang Fei, a Hu Yi, and a very close by neighbor Lamb is going to stop that second tier turret falling in the mid lane. But just revisiting back to that 4-0 bang on the side of Omega Nemesis, you saw the potential of that Kaiser. If Dolia was there, if Dolia was able to keep herself alive and proc the second ultimate, the sustain from the Kaiser was just insane. He was being attacked from 7 different angles, it seemed, the poor guy.
Exactly.
But still manages to survive. So for so long, and that's the potential of that great hero Kaiser. But speaking of potential here, are we going to see potential kill for the side of 7C? No, we see a double kill from 919. He is not done yet. He is just cleaning up that minion wave. Dolia is on the run. Is she going to escape? Probably not. Between the beast and the shark, she may fall here as well.
Man, that was such a close moment for the side of 7C. But with Omega Nemesis, they have so much poke, they have so much damage, they even have so much control that right now, under 10 minutes, they managed to clear out all of the turret in the mid lane, but that's going to be another fight initiated yet again. Now you have the kill going over finally to 7C, but looks like HoYi on Tom was able to pick one up for himself. Now right at the front line, MDK trying his best to protect the teammates. Leaping Savior will be there to be the savior for his team. Looks like they will have to go back to the drawing board. But before that, let's take a buff.
Absolutely. I mean, they've got the whole playing field now. They have wide access to the enemy jungle. They have pretty much the mid lane on lockdown. The higher ground turret has fallen. It's just all about just formulating and bringing up that game-finishing play, and it could all just start here. The HoYi ultimate did land from downtown. Ray looking very low here. He does proc his ultimate, but it's not enough. The zone damage, the nukes coming from Princess Frost. Jungbei over the wall as well, putting pressure onto the high Nu as well. It is the only team member alive no longer. He falls. Quadra kill. 2-9-1-9 again. Somebody called 9-9-1 for the side of 7C because their crystal is going down in game 2 and they lose 2-0 to Omega Nemesis.
Oh my goodness, Lamb with that MTN execution. That was, yeah, no other word to use but crazy. He closed game number 2, closed series number 1 with a quadra kill. What a statement from Omega Nemesis here. But I have to say, 7C, their adjustments were visible. The possibility was definitely there. I think it's just the fact that their opponent's early game is, again, crazy, super powerful. I honestly don't know how to even counter that. They have so much CC, they have so much presence, and they have so much vision, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like that true testament. It's the unstoppable force normally meets the unmovable force, but it was just the unstoppable force was met by a chocolate doorstop. It literally just melted away in the heat that Omega Nemesis brought within those two series there against 7C. Honestly, because of the lack of kills, the lack of rotation, just the whole tempo was just completely like dancing with a third leg. It was just not good. Again, it was, could it be down to confidence? Could it be down to the what's at stake as well? Because I mean, all these teams want to get to that regional qualifier, the offline LAN, but not everybody can get there. And Omega Nemesis putting themselves into the grand finals already. So they are the first grand finalist of tomorrow, and obviously cement themselves in that regional final as well. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing Omega Nemesis go forward. I mean, I think it's going to be a very nice match, no matter how it goes tomorrow or how it goes the next game. I'm very excited for this team.
Agreed. So first off, congratulations to Omega Nemesis for being our first finalist. I have to say this, by the way, Tom's HoYi is a lot more effective in my opinion. I just love how immaculate his positioning is. You could not reach him, okay? Even if you want to, you have Easy Babby to fight. And if you do manage to get through him, you have MZK. But that's after you manage to sidestep against the frigid prison of Pegasus. So it's a lot of layers, a lot of skills you really have to keep yourself in trance of, just so you will survive. But for the side of 7C, I have a question. You mentioned that Haino is being used as a tanky hero. Will things have changed if they use the tank build on Haino, or do you think it's still a no?
I think it's still a no. I mean, again, we didn't really see much potential there from Haino, unfortunately, because obviously the hero has great potential. And there we go, 919. I don't think I would have actually put anybody in the pace there for that MVP spot, because we gave it to the support, we give it to the jungle this time, and to finish off on a quadra kill is just chef's kiss.
Beautiful game. It made me want to use Lamb, and I don't even jungle. Okay, I play Clash lane, I play farm lane, roam, mid lane, but jungle, no. But he was so good. I'm like, you know what? I feel like I can play like that. I was very inspired, but that was quite a game number 2, right?
Absolutely. I mean, all that inspiration obviously inspired people in chat. But before we get to the final matchup of today, we are going to take just a small break. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, gamers and champions, welcome to the 2024 Honor of Kings Open Series Split 1. Get ready to see the convergence of skill and strategy as teams from various realms come together to compete for glory. This is your chance to witness the rise of Titans and be part of this ongoing epic. The road to the final will unfold in 2 stages, the round of 16 to the finals and the grand finals. In the first stage, 4 regions will take part. Turkey, EEU will compete on May 16th to 17th, followed by MENA and a mysterious wildcard on May 18th to 19th. Only the 2 most resilient teams from each region will advance to the prestigious EMEA Regional Finals, which will be held from May 30th till June 2nd. 8 teams will face off in an electrifying offline showdown. A staggering prize pool of $23,000 is waiting for those who are brave enough to seize it. Those who demonstrate unparalleled skill and control of the game. Join us, witness the path journey of champions and of history in the making.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Honor of Kings Open Series Wildcard Split 1. I am Blam, and with me today is Yuko. How are we feeling about this match 2? I mean, we hyped it up a little bit in that introduction with the likes of All Gaming Hong Kong, but we don't really know much about Freeze Esports, so I'm very interested.
Exactly. Could be one of the things, there's not much data on the team, so maybe they're the mysterious ones, or they could be the black horse. But again, these are the standings so far. Like what we saw in the previous series, Omega Nemesis was able to win that series with a very convincing 2-0. So now they are moving over to the finals tomorrow, and I'm excited because it's a best of 7. So there's more matches, more action, more analysis for us, honestly.
Absolutely, but let's analyze these team rosters. So on the side of Freezing Esports, we have Yin, KK, Woodwind, Dream, and Fable. So some solid, quite fantasy style names going on there. I feel like I'm going to be doing poetry while I'm casting. And then on the side of AGHK is Devil, Zays, Qinglin, Myosotis. I am going to struggle to say that one when I'm saying anything, and Snow. So again, you can take the stampede on AGHK there for me, Yuko, because I'm not saying that one there.
Yeah, the players can get really creative with the IGNs. I honestly just got Yuko right here. See, it's easy to pronounce, easy to spell, but hey, it's still pretty fun to mention all of those names. And with that, it looks like it's time to move on to game number 1, banned so far, Haino, Mai, and a Dakyao. Again, they don't want no Whirlpool, they don't want no Fate Rewind, and of course, with Mai, they don't want none of those combos. Okay, she's crazy with the Cho Hisatsu, I believe, for her ultimate. With that, Lam is gonna be the last band for the first rotation on the side of the red team. Frost is open, Dahlia is open, Arlie is open, Prince of Lanling is open as well.
Yep, plenty to be desired by the side of blue team. Currently hovering that Dolia. So are we going to see a Kaiser follow-up? Will we get Lubu in the clash lane? Or will we see a Hongjong and Dolia pair up like we saw in Season 1 Invitational? But we are getting the new hero, Graces, here as well. So Hugh Huan as well. Normally a support mage mid lane hero, but has been devastating the jungle regardless of the regions as well, because it's been played in Brazil, it's been played in global, and as we know, when it was in China and still fresh in China, this was a big pickup in the jungle as well. So again, it's gonna be really interesting to see how All Gaming pick and play this hero.
She just provides so much utility, sustain, damage, you name it, she has it. She's pretty as well. She's probably the it girl, where she lives. But now, we mentioned Arlie, and Arlie has a 100% win rate so far. She does get picked up by FE and paired with a Mayin. I love seeing her on the clash lane. She has so much combo, and you need to be very good with how do I say this? I guess your mechanics need to be very high to be able to utilize her.
Absolutely, because you've not only got to watch out for whatever combo your enemy is actually going to pair up against you, because Mayin has so many different combos and they all trigger different kind of functions. So again, she can heal herself. She can also obviously negate any sort of CC with her backflip as well. So again, lots of combos. You've got to read your enemy well. And to be honest, I think to pair a Byron against the Mayin, it's kind of going from one side of the spectrum, which is very sort of intrinsic, combo heavy hero, to go against Byron that's literally aggressive in your face. If you fail these combos, you are going to get punished, and then that gets paired up with the Zhongfei, which again is on a 100% win rate within the wildcard split 1.
we've seen him picked up multiple times, and we already mentioned this, but he just provides so much help for his team and very, very tanky. I said this, it is a best of three. His life could go up to best of 75. That's how intense it is, okay? Kaiser does get banned out as well as DRNG, and the last ban for the side of FE will be a pay. There won't be any Tigers for this series.
Yeah, so quite a lot of those flashy heroes have got banned out there. So the likes of the Mai, Hino as well, Pei, Lamb, and obviously Kaiser, you don't want to get paired up with that Dolio. And we kind of saw that Freezing Esports were tempting the Kaiser there, especially on that second pick, but then decided to lock in the Mayin instead. But then we get Princess Frost actually not being on the Freezing Esports side. So I'm a little bit disappointed that the Freezing Esports didn't pick up the Queen, the Princess of Frozen Things herself. That is Princess Frost. Instead, they're looking to portray their own name. They're looking to go for the Fire, the Angela with the blazing brilliance, and obviously CC immunity with her ultimate, and then locking in that final pick that is done.
Mm-hmm. We've seen Dunn banned, I believe, in the previous series, but finally happy to see him here. I think Unruly Blade will definitely be an issue for Frost here, or maybe even to Huan. But there is Hover for AGHK side on this Huayi. Also 100% win rate so far, and they lock it in.
Yes, so Hu Yi rears his head once again because it's quite funny seeing Hu Yi come through quite often because looking at those bans, it was not very heavily aimed at the farm lane there. So we still could have had the likes of Consort Yu, we could have had Marco Polo. There was plenty of picks to be had, but it seems that All Gaming Hong Kong want the Hu Yi going against the Dolia, and not the Dolia, sorry, the Ali. And again, we are probably going to be seeing some great downtown ultimates come through from Hu Yi, stunning one of those unsuspected individuals on the side of Freezing Esports. But this time around, they don't have the Derenji to cleanse the heal. They don't have any cleanse on their team. They don't have the Zhuangzi either. So, unfortunately for Freeze Esports, if they get hit by the stun, they've got to take it on the chin.
They really need to, just take it in and hope that they're still alive after the duration is done. But again, this is just game number one for our best of three, our final series for the day. So again, don't forget to invite your friends to watch. Hey, if you have a duo, trio, maybe even a five-man, this is the tournament for you, okay? Get those picks, get those combos, and as Sir Blam did say earlier, Yuhuan has been very, very famous in the jungle. Surprisingly, for the global, at least in the PH side, we don't really see Yuhuan being picked up. We do see Shangguan getting picked up in the mid lane, though. So I think that's another difference when it comes to the matchups. I really am looking forward to seeing how Devil will be able to utilize this.
I think the thing I'm pretty much happy about the most is the fact that these teams actually got themselves into position, because I know quite often when we've been watching the Open Series splits, the picks are everywhere. So Dun's down on the bottom of the part of the leaderboard, and then like Hu Yi's all the way at the top. But no, these guys have spent the time to uniform themselves, and I thank them. It literally eases my mind and makes me comparing the goal difference between these roles as 10 times easier than the past so many games where I've been trying to figure it out myself just by watching. So I think that's a good thing for those watching at home or online. And obviously for ourselves, it makes it easier to digest all that
Yes.
information. But if we're looking to dive into the team comp here, like I was saying in my opening statements, the Dun Jungle seems to be a safe meta for the side of global esports because, again, it's not a flashy pick. It has a great early game potential as well, because obviously he has enhanced attacks, he has the shield, he has the knockup of his second proc of his first ability as well. So again, he does have potential, but it's a very sort of, it's a fall off. There's a fine cutoff for this hero, and it's much more early game than it is late game. Once you get done to the late game, he's pretty much just sort of like a support in a way, just kind of like serving up kills for the likes of the Ali, maybe just trying to lock down so the Blazing Brilliance can come from Angela, or even the Mayeen can come in and jump up the wall and just serve up some great kills. But yeah, this hero definitely has a very small roof in terms of how to mastering this hero, but again, can be proven effective as a more of a support in that late game.
Agreed, agreed. I was about to say that. Angela and obviously Arlie will be crazy by the late game. I think Mayin will be a lot more consistent once the late game does enter.
Enemy
But
minions will
Angela
arrive in
has the
5
Chaos
seconds.
Cinders for the slows. It could be a problem even if
All
ever
forces, move out!
AGHK will try to jump in together. But now the pause is gone. That means the game is here. So I'm very much excited to see, will we get an early first blood, or will this be a slow burn kind of matchup like what we've been seeing in the series earlier today, with that Woodwind does get spotted out just throwing water on Zhang Fei, but no actual full-on engages just yet. I have to say though, that is a stunning and beautiful skin for Princess Frost. I'm so jealous.
Yeah, if it's one thing HoK does, it is definitely really flashy, cool skins. But yeah, it's all going to be interesting to see what the MO of either of these teams are going to be. Are we going to have the veracity of Omega Nemesis on either of these teams? I can imagine with All Gaming, we are getting a first blood pretty much bang on a minute. It was that perfection or not seeing there from Zays getting that first blood bang on 1 minute. And they may not be done here. We're already seeing a 3-man track down of Dolia. The only thing that can come and help the Dolia now is the Angela looking for a flank around onto them, and as well as Ali done now rotating around as well. We're gonna get a fight for the red buff. It's 2 minutes, and Alia takes up the kill on Yuan as well. So goes down the enemy jungle. So again, not as long a distance between the kills on both of these teams. Freezing Esports pick up a response to that first blood very quickly.
Farm laners are happy this early game. Also, I think the Lunar Recall didn't really connect well. That's why KK was a little bit late to the party. However, Snow will be jumping in. Fable, barely, but he does get out of there alive. Now again, you have the Frigid Prison connecting, but Woodwind with the Ode will be able to push Princess Frost back. And right on cue, now Winter's Here is available. You also have Devil lurking onto the side, is already at level 5, but with that, you have the ultimate coming in from Zaze. That's going to be a very good stun connecting onto Winter is Here. But again, Angela does have the Blazing Brilliance, does not get any kill, but at the very least, there were no casualties.
No casualties at all, but that's just down to the merit of being able to play Angela so well and timing her kit so perfectly. And I was saying this in Season 1 Invitational, especially with some of the Brazilian mid laners, is that the kit on Angela is not the hardest thing to master, but when you add that added layer of timing, of landing it, is using that CC immunity as well to its ultimate potential, it's just a beautiful thing to watch when you see mid laners pick that Angela pick. But again, we are crowded around that red buff, and Hu Yi with that ult from downtown takes down the Angela. So no CC immunity for you, untargetable by Devil. Devil is on the run. Jack Bay taking out the Mayeen as well. So no backflips for you. Unbridled Burst there, taking down the Mayeen, but he does fall. The Zhang Bei is killable this time around for Frozen Esports.
That was a lot of back and forth, honestly, but I have to say it was a good start. Burning Sun Arrow coming in from Huoyi, and I thought Dahlia will be able to get 1 kill, would have been happy for Woodwind here, but it looks like the farm laners were just focused on trying to take each other down with their basic attacks and combos. But still, under 5 minutes, we have 3 and 3 on the board with, let's say, a 1k-ish gold lead in favor of the red side.
Yeah, we're definitely getting a little bit more of a even trade-in, tip-for-tat kind of gameplay here from both of these teams. But is this just one of these teams playing with their food? Are they just sort of trying to just say, yeah, we can keep up with the pace too, don't you worry, don't worry about us. We're not going to let you get too far ahead with gold and kills. Hu Yi landing that ult onto Dolia to stop the chase there. No clear takedown for this Tyrant just yet. Are we going to get a re-engage from AGHK here? It is already looking mightily low, but you do have to contest with the 2 smites, and Dream does it. He lives with a dream of 1 smite and takes the Tyrant from the red team, who had 2 smites. You had it on the Zhongfei, you had it on Huyan as well. So
Exactly.
again,
I mean,
brilliant
yeah.
play.
Was able to get that crucial theft already just in game number 1, and looks like they will. Yeah, it's pretty calm except towards the farm lane, because it looks like Woodwind was able to save Arlie KK again. I think that was the usual Wave Breaker plus Ode combo. I remember Celestial Melody is available. I'd like to think that Woodwind will use it either on Dream or on Yin. Just because, on Dun, that's Unruly Blade. That's going to be a lot of help for the team. And for Angela's side, again, with the Need I Say More, that is a blazing brilliance. You have slow, you have so much damage, and they would love to utilize that in these team fights. Given that AGHK, their composition is a lot more in your face, I believe, as long as the stun from Huoyi does connect.
Yeah, like we've been seeing the from the last engage, that Huyi ultimate was everything. It started the motion of that massive fight between that red buff of both the teams there. And obviously we saw that there was quite a few trades going on, which again, Freezing Esports is showing a testament to their skill so far against All Gaming HK. I honestly thought that this was going to be more of a stomp than last series, but I'm already being proven wrong here. Freezing Esports are definitely here to stay for now. But just going over the point of Dolia, obviously more than likely going to be going and giving that second ultimate to the likes of obviously Angela, to the Dun as well, being able to engage, disengage, or try and zone a single target with the blade, the knock-up as well. So again, I think there's a really good counter position here for Freezing Esports as a whole on the side of their team comp, and it's already showing much weight because they are currently 3-3. They managed to take the Tyrant, which is now going to give them that increased damage overall across the board. So hey, we could see a steady step towards a favorable side of Freezing Esports here.
Agreed. Let's just wait and see how things will pan out after this very quick pause. But yeah, moving over to AGHK's side, I think again they do have the goal lead. I think it's the fact that they were able to do all of these very quick and clean pickups. I haven't seen a full-on team fight from them just yet, unless it was initiated by Freezing Esports. So maybe they're waiting for, I don't know, maybe Snow to go online, or for Devil to be able to make a good play, or Mayosotis for with a good Winters here. It's really all gonna depend on their three key ultimates: Zhang Fei's Unbridled Outburst, Huoyi's Burning Sun Arrow, or Princess Frost's Winters here. You get that? I think it's their green light.
Yeah, there's plenty of green lights to be accepted there. The only thing that isn't green lit is this pause, and in the famous words of the cultural famous words, pause. It is definitely a pause in all sense of the word. But yeah, it's just having a little look over onto the gold differences here between the lanes. So again, Byron's already picking up that gold lead in the Clash lane. So already we're seeing some more Clash core gameplay on the side of All Gaming All Gaming Hong Kong, but we're seeing a similar story in every lane here. So it's overall across the board. There's no sort of like definite like 1K, 2K ahead in the jungle. It's all just little drips and drabs on every lane here. So obviously, as an overall, All Gaming is ahead in that gold. And just looking a little bit of the equipment as well. So obviously, defense boots coming on the side of Huyi to make it a little bit more sustainable in these team fights. And it's already proven that it's a good motion, a good pick for them to go for there on the Huyi is that physical defense boot.
You know, I was about to say something about the items, but the moment you mentioned them, the pause was gone. So I think
Yeah,
that's the magic word. Okay, so
yeah,
now we're
yeah,
back onto the game. There was a good run-in attempt from Zhongfei, but they did not actually push through with the pickoff. Now, FE, they are clumped together. They have this 3 or 4 hero hunting unit. Looks like Dream decides to join the party as well. We might see another team fight initiated by them.
yeah. I think the interesting thing is that there is still turrets still up, and it's 6 minutes in. What's going on? Omega Nemesis would have already been at your front door with that mid lane turret takedown. Hu Yi. It was honestly, that was aimed at Woodwind. I don't care what anybody says. That Hu Yi ultimate had a goal. It was meant to be Woodwind, but Fable took that hit on the chin for his teammate there. So well played by Fable, keeping Dolly alive, because I feel like if Dolly was taken out in that early engage there, I think All Gaming would have just pursued that even further. And this is a testament to that they are taking that Sage buff. They want to completely get rid of that Sage buff for done. So again, we always mention this as casters, as an analyst as well, is that blue buff is just as important as either the Overlord or the Tyrant in the early game.
Of course, but now you have the stun connecting onto one. There is no follow-up just yet for AGHK. Also, I should have mentioned this earlier. This Dahlia is using a stun. She's not using heal. Interesting, okay? I want to see how Wooden will be able to utilize this, but as I say that, the turret from the mid lane will be falling down. However, there is a trade, all thanks to KK here. Now Devil as well as Zhongfei, they are together trying to get the buff, but looks like still has been secured. This will be the graph shown onto the screens as well. Now they will be circling around, but looks like Arlie was the one that got circled on. Let's see the kill going over to the blue team. 3 and 4 now on the board. Winters here is not available, but looks like FE, they don't want to fight, so they back away.
The back away, and they are... I mean, is doing a fantastic job with this macro here. That farm lane is completely demolished. All the way up into that higher ground turret. And speaking of demolished, Arlie did shine bright, but it's always the brightest stars burn the quickest. And unfortunately for Arlie there, she did meet her end. But we see AGHK here looking for that Overlord. They take the Overlord down as well. Just recalling those past series, we actually didn't see many Overlords be taken because we didn't see the Vanguards on the map. It's as if these teams don't care about the Overlord. Like, you know what? We'll take the turrets ourselves. We don't need no Overlord Vanguards. We can do this all by ourselves. And they're showing it right here. AGHK have definitely activated Hu Yi with that ultimate back onto Woodwing. Can we get a takedown onto Dolia, please?
Let's see. That's the goal. Woodwind though does get caught out, does get stunned, but looks like okay, does have the wave breaker ready. Now you have Angela with the blazing brilliance again. So much damage. Now you have Arlie coming in with the combo. Maple Dance and Autumn Storm. That's gonna be 2K going over to KK. Oh, 2K on KK. Now it's gonna be 5-5 on the scoreboard. But looking at the turrets for the Clash Lane side, there's no more outer turrets for the side of FE.
No more outer turrets, outer side turrets for FE, so this could be the start of the end, the means to the conclusion that AGHK need for this first game in the series. But Reason Esports are not going down without a fight. They do get the blazing brilliance onto the Princess Frost there, so no Winter is going to stop that heat taken down the mid lane for AGHK. And again, we still see Fable with great macro, still keeping that pressure on that farm lane, just making sure they can try and take a second tier turret from AGHK.
Whew, that was a lot of time committed onto Devil, but hey, they got the kill. I think that's worth it, even though he was untargetable. After a few seconds, he became targetable, and he went 6 feet underground. Right on cue, Overlord and Tyrant is now up with, again, Blazing Brilliance will be used just so they can clear out the objectives very, very quickly. Okay. Sometimes the teams do it, they try to take the other objective, but okay, they will try. But of course, not before taking one kill. That's going to be a lot of focus onto Queen Lin. but Zhang Fei will still be a-okay. Moving over to our mid lane, Winter is here, has been used just to make sure that the minions will not touch their turrets. Dream gets spotted out here by Devil, but no full-on pickoffs or team fight plans yet for HK.
Yes, it's all the calm before the storm, because I feel like if there's just 1 foot out of the motion here, if there is a misstep in either of these teams' tango, it is going to be KO for that respective team. But HoYi coming with the ult back downtown, completely missing everybody, unfortunately, there. So that is now going to be on cooldown for Mr. HoYi. He has been now put in the naughty corner with that long-range stun, but a stun, untargetable. HoYi there completely just mitigating that CC there from Angela as well. But then we have Snow at the back of the queue, trying to do some damage there. We see a takedown from KK. Yin's down, Dream's down, Fable is down. The only thing left is Wind in the woods there. Play on words, forgive me, I am British. And there we see the misstep that happened that I was speaking about. The tango has been flamingoed. They have toppled over their long legs, and down goes the first high tier turret there with the Vanguard. I think, was this going to end any other way for AGHK here? Taking the crystal 15 minutes before the first game? I do not think not.
Okay, I think our teams like to finish matches under 15, 20 minutes, but I have to say the Byron pick for this game is a lot more effective than what we've seen in series number 1, and we did see a lot of back and forth, like what you said. I think this is a lot more close matchup. We were able to see some mistakes here and there, but still they were able to make do with their draft. Honestly, I think it's all about Zhang Fei. We mentioned this hero multiple times, but that's just how good this guy is. And I think the HoYi first blood really made a lot of things happen. He was able to snowball, and they're a slow burn type of composition. Even though there were moments where FE did shine, it seemed like the freezing esports got melted down.
Yes, there was definitely an iceberg there that was just slowly dripping, but then as we saw towards that 10-minute mark, it got too hot for Freezing Esports. They literally melted. Like I said, the analogy there that they flamingoed the tango, and it was just all about that misstep, and that misstep happened on the side of Freezing Esports, which ultimately cost them game 1. But to be honest, for them to hold such a great game, a well-paced game, I would say, a very even game until that late game mark against All Gaming, I'm just going to call them AGHK because I'm just tripping over myself here, mentioning Hong Kong all the time. But yeah, again, I think Freezing Esports did very well in game 1 to keep this a neck-and-neck battle.
Exactly. Wow. I mean, looking at the highlights here. See, I had my eyes on KK here. I'm like, oh, he's okay. Was able to use Lunar Recall, jump back and forth. But also, if I have an unsung MVP for this game, for the side of FE, it's Yin. All of those setups were so good. Again, it just so happened that, if you're an Angela and you don't really have flash, and you have opponents like Zace, you even have opponents like Byron, they're right at your face, you have no choice but to, just set yourself up in flames. But here are the team stats after that game number 1. It's a lot more fun. Actually, I really enjoyed all of those back and forths. I can't wait to see how things will pan out for game number 2.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot more easier to watch because, again, there was no sort of massive force between both of these teams. It was very steady, but I think this is sort of just a tried and testament thing for the Chinese teams, especially like all AGHK as well, is that they start very slow burning and then they just intensify the heat without you even noticing. And that's exactly what happened with that 12-minute mark on the side of Freezing Esports. They kind of just tripped over themselves, but again, 38k to 31k is not the hugest difference or the huge gap that we've seen before, but Zaze with those downtown ultimates lands the MVP after landing so many of those HoYi ultimates as well.
Did you see that? An almost 67k damage. I don't know who can actually receive that much damage on their opponent's side. That's how really, really good and well protected that marksman was. But again, that was just game number 1. Again, this is a best of 3. We're gonna hop into a very short break, but when we come back, we will have the answer to, will we have a game 3 or will this be another 2-0? see a full series or will they follow the trend that's all about 2-0s? Hi everyone, you're watching Honor of Kings Open Series Wildcard Split 1. We're gonna be your casters. I'm Yuko, alongside me is Blam. So, we just finished game number 1. Expectations for game number 2, please.
You put me in a top spot there. But yeah, to be honest, I think if Freezing Esports can keep that momentum that we saw in game 1, I can honestly see you that we take it to a full best of 3, because there wasn't really much that we could really fault with Freezing Esports. It was just that end moment that we saw where AGHK just happened to completely just throw over the Freezing Esports team comp there, with just basically taking complete control after that mistake that they made, which was just basically allowing AGHK just to get their foot in the door. Because once they get their foot in the door, there's no knocking needed. They are in there, they are doing what they need to do, and they did it with ferocity by taking down that Clash Lane higher ground turret and then taking the crystal after that. But let's have a little look at the game 2 bans. So the Prospers have already changed. So Woodwind already banning his own pick there. The Dolia falls out. And then a similar story on the side of AGHK. They've banned their own Byron. And then obviously Mai once again gets banned. No in the Flash Lane.
Kind of sad that we're not gonna see a Mai this time around. Maybe tomorrow, we'll never know. Or if there's a game number 3, Mai might get opened. But yeah, I totally understand the Baryon ban here, solely because he had such power in the Clash Lane. You mentioned this way back series number 1, combos, enhancements, everything. Yuan being taken out as well, but someone that didn't get taken out is Hino, which will immediately be locked in by AGHK.
Hey now, Hino, he is definitely getting prio pick on the blue side, but I think that's a really good way to pick him. It's because this could now be flexed, because obviously other than the Brazilian teams who generally play him as a jungle, I would expect somebody or teams like AGHK that could flex picks this Hino in the jungle as well. So again, already having that flash locked in, that could switch to Smite. We don't know yet, but a great flex pick nonetheless as the first pick on the side of AGHK. But then we look over to Freezing Esports and they lock in the beast himself, Zhang Fei. 100% win rate. Is that now going to fall because Freezing Esports has taken him?
That's the question. Let's see. So we're gonna wait for the game to load in, or at least our drafts to be chosen. But now, after picking up Lamb, they also got their hands on D Renji. I think he lost in game number 1 from the previous series, but let's see. I mean, AGHK was able to get game number 1 earlier, and I said this. D Renji is a very slippery hero. Imperial Order does dish out a lot of damage. Could be a problem to, I think, not necessarily Arlie, but maybe to Gan and Mo, which got picked up by Freezing Esports. They really want to push back enemies and they want their space. Okay, they even have Autumn Storm. You have 2 heroes that pushes opponents away. Actually, make that even 3, because Zhang Fei does push out and stun enemies as well.
Yep, they're definitely going for the antisocial team comp on the side of Freezing Esports. You've got Zhang Fei who can leap over the walls. You can get Ali who can disappear with her umbrella. And then you got Gammo that physically pushes you away with sharp rocks. So yeah, definitely antisocial currently, the team comp on the side of Freezing Esports. But less about that. We're getting into the second part of the ban phase. Dharma again being banned. Luna, again, a hero that has not even been considered, but again, another flashy jungler that we don't normally see the global teams pick, because again, this hero is very reliant on the blue buff. And as we saw, AGHK, if they were to play the Luna, you know that Freezing Esports MO would be, let's focus that Sage buff, because if we get that lockdown, Luna's basically just as helpful as a minion.
Exactly. She's just someone that you can take down and just get some gold or EXP from. Sunbin, okay, this hero did not see the light of day today. So I see the prio, I see the respect on this hero, but now let's wait and see on the last ban for the blue side. They could take out a Clash laner. Well, Byron already got taken out. Maybe there's the mid. Yeah. Okay, they got the
Ooh.
jungler, which is Pei again. I thought Pei was gonna survive, but looks like the answer will be no. But now Elaine is finally available in the game. Now, meteor skill is something that I think is something that his opponents really need to take care of, solely because it's all about the health recovery. It also deals damage multiple times, and it actually launches the enemy. So imagine if he does that on Haino or Mayin, if they do lock that in. By the way, first time we might see Cayenne being picked up if they lock this in.
Yeah, again, it just gives another layer to Lamb if that's the case, because if Cayenne gets picked, it's the healing. I mean, Lamb's already got that fantastic heal potential anyway, that on-hit heal.
Mm-hmm.
Once he builds a HP regen item as well, you're pretty much solid, especially against such a squishy team other than the Zhongfei currently on the side of Forever Esports. But right now we are seeing I want to going back and visit that Elaine pick, because like you say, if you aren't careful, if he uses that ultimate, he disappears for a few seconds and then comes back down, knocks you all up, and that could pretty much lead to a team fight ending combo. But you've now got the likes of Mayeen on the side of HK, who could knock Elaine completely away from her team to keep them safe. But you've also got the Muzi. So again, not seen at all today. Muzi comes through. So you've got that long range stun. You've got not the suppression, but that rapid, just little millisecond CCs and stopping your enemy hero in that cage, again, is a detriment to the side of Frozen Esports. But then they go for the Athena. I don't like this hero because of Season 1 Invitational, but Esports had a fantastic run for that entire tournament. They got to, I believe, the semifinals. They picked Athena, and it didn't go well. And it didn't go well for them in the KIC 2023 either. So I don't understand. I really want, I hope for my own bias that this Athena pick goes well.
I think, or at least in the PH region, we usually pick up Athena very, very seldomly, by the way. But we pick
Mm,
her up because of the vision that she can provide,
yes.
but that's about it. Let's see how FE will be able to utilize that. And let's go back to what you said about Elaine being used by Fable. I love how dramatic his ultimate's name is, Death at Sunset, right? Very
Yeah.
dramatic, very, fierce and intense. So let's see if it will live up to its name while we wait for the pause to disappear. But I want to talk about Mosey as well. Think inside the box, his ultimate. It's okay. Sometimes it's difficult to land, especially if your opponents are very mobile and if they have flash. But if you do get that perfect spot, preferably I think around the buff area or maybe in the tyrant's pit and all that, it will definitely be the perfect setup for DRNG with the Imperial Order, Lamb even with execution, maybe Mayin with her own combo as well. So I'm seeing a lot of good possibilities for AGHK's lineup here.
Yeah, I'm just revisiting back, obviously, the usefulness. Well, not actually the usefulness of Athena, but at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, if somebody like Durenji picks up all those kills onto the Athena just for vision,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's scary,
Yeah.
because then you've got a fantastic farm lane hero that is just fed to High Evan and has all those items. And we all know how well Durenji plays in that mid to late game as well. Just so much damage. The stun's crucial. If your enemy team has a stun onto him, boom, skill 2 cleansed. Sorry, goodbye, no CC for me. But yeah, again, another detriment to that team, or again, is that Muzi. I love to see Muzi get picked. Again, was normally picked by the Brazilian teams in Season 1 Invitational. Still a very predominant pick within the Brazilian Chalk BR 2024 as well. But like, we want to go back to the Elaine's ultimate. So Death on Sunset. Hopefully there is some Deaths on Sunset for the side of Freezing Esports, because this could be the end for them, or it could be the start of a Silver Scrapes. We could see a 2-1 turnaround for Freezing Esports. It's not currently
True.
on my lottery of Honor of Kings Wildcard Open Series, Open Series Split 1, but it could still potentially happen here, because I mean, they played a great first game, so I've got high hopes for them in this one.
Agreed. Agreed. You know, anything is possible. It's just the early game. So let's see how things will pan out. Also, a random trivia. I love reading about lore. If you're gonna look at
Hmm.
Elaine's lore, he's actually allies with both Elisio and Mayin. But for game number 2, looks like they're enemies. You guys are not staying true to his lore, okay? So maybe next time they can be in one team. But with that said, looks like they will try to focus down, you know, at least push back the Arlie here as well as Zhang Fei and make sure they're shoved under the turret. But someone that does want to see someone get shoved under the turret will be this Dream, but he does get CC immune, but that will be the response coming in from Fable as well. Dream taking in so much damage. That's going to be the Hyena trying to go to chase, but Lamb still with a combo was able to pick off one. Now Dream is the one walking around giving vision. That will be Fable again, trying his best to duke it out against this Hyeno, but Hyena will be able to make it out of their alive. So I think that would never
Ooh.
mind. Athena came back and was able to take down Hyeno.
That was just timed beautifully. It was like game one's
Mm-hmm.
first blood, bang on minute one. Athena knew what they were doing there. Dream had a dream and literally landed that kill onto um, onto Devil there. No, sorry, onto Hino. Again, another kill being taken down. Onto Athena here. Fable being taken down by Mayeen as well. And Ganmo could potentially get caught out by the Mayeen and the Lamb here before Athena comes back. But the damage, he absolutely cleared out Mayeen. And Devil manages to escape over the wall thanks to Hino as well. So complete damage limitation there by the side of AGHK.
I guess that's what happens when you get the full force of Couple's Blade. That's a problem for me as well. I just cannot sustain the damage coming out from a gun and Mo. But, you know, maybe the opponent's tank will be able to do that. For now, they will be rotating in over to where the buff is. They are clumped together. So I think for this matchup, they really love their team fights. They don't really focus much on pickoffs or, you know, staying in their own lane. They rotate a lot. They respond a lot. Nowadays will be the next target here. That's going to be Woodwood
Uh-oh.
at the front line. And the kill does go over to Arlie. But here comes the other members of AGHK on their turret. Think inside the box, good sir. Lam does get picked out. Does take one kill, rather. Gets a kill onto Yin. And with that, it will be a 1-to-1 trade. 5-3 now on the board with roughly a 1k gold lead in favor of AGHK.
Yeah, this Athena pick is just Devil's dream, for lack there better words, because Devil has got 3 kills up now. I believe that was his 4th down in the farm lane. And again, just like as I was talking about the RNG being a hero you don't want to be giving all that gold to, Lamb's just as deadly as well, because if you get that foot in, if you get that full steam ahead from Lamb, game over. Shark is in town and is at your door, especially with the pad with the Muzi as well. We just saw that down in the Clash farm lane, sorry. And now we have a all-team attempt at the Tyrant, but Ali steals it. What was that? Where's your smite, Devil? What went happen there?
Does KK have a smite that we can't see? Because that was too smooth. But let's see if Fable will be able to smoothly get away. Yes, he does. And I have to say, Muzi, with all of those on-point cannon blasts, really giving a lot of space and opportunities for his team. But Devil looks like it will be the next target here. Woodward again have their eyes set on Meiosis. And it looks like you also have Mosey making a step back. No casualties again, but it looks like KK, he's a lot more confident than Arlie. I would be so confident as well if I got that steal. But let's see if he will be confident. This Lamb right here, that's going to be a 1v2, 1v3, never mind. You also have Gun and Mo here, but Arlie does get the kill onto Mosey. Just going to be the shot on goal going into a lane. Does get Lamb bursted down. Now Hino coming in with that Fate Rewind. No deaths will be rewinded though, because they still get that takedown. That was a 1-2 in favor now of FE.
Yeah, I don't think the one thing that AGHK realized is that this Arlie was going to get fed so much, because if you currently look at Arlie's difference in the gold, it's currently 4.1 to 3.3k by the Renji. So we were focusing our thing, our focus was in the wrong direction on the Lamb, taking up all the
Mhm.
kills from the Athena. Because we've already seen Ali pick up 2 kills. She's been left alone down in that lane to farm up as well. So she's already ahead with 2 kills. The Renji currently sitting at a nil point. And then obviously the 4.1k, you've got those attack defense boots as well. Majority of the damage on the side of AGHK is that attack physical defense, physical damage, sorry. So
Mhm.
again, it's going to make for a much more sustainable Ali in these fights, and it's clearly showing that it's working very well for Freezing Esports.
Man, I mean, this is probably the only thing that I want. Make sure the farm laner or the ADC is fed
Mhm.
like every MOBA ever, and then everyone will just follow suit. Again, I like Woodwind a lot more on this Zhangfei. His Dahlia was okay. I see the logic when he picked up stun, but there's just something about Zhangfei on this smite. It's working so well for Freezing Esports here. Fable actually got the shutdown gold as well, so that's something he could utilize later on. We haven't seen a groundbreaking death at sunset yet, but maybe later. So for the side of AGHK, they're I think a lot more inconsistent in game two than game number one, but I think that's because the lineup right now for Freezing Esports just leveled up.
Yeah, I mean, I've just caught something on Moozy's build here. So generally, when you have a
Mm-hmm.
Moozy pick, he generally goes for the cooldown reduction with the boots.
Mm-hmm.
But we're seeing the magic pierce here. So again, a little bit of a difference here for the Muzi. We generally get a cooldown reduction so we can get as many stuns out as possible. But here we're getting the magic damage boots on the side of the Muzi here. So I wonder what that implication is here for AGHK. Is there something that we don't know? Are they playing the Muzi a little bit different than what the typical global team do? Just to have that reduced cooldown on his abilities.
Yeah, I feel like Boots of the Arcane has been picked up solely because number one, movement. There's plus mana regen, so he can actually spam his skills, and I think there's more magic penetration. So circling back to what you said, I think it's just really Mosey wanting to, um, pardon the joke, hurt his opponents by thinking inside the box, if you get my drift. But yeah, it's really all about being able to balance that defense as well as the magic damage. So far so good. Honestly, he is standing 0-1, but hey, that's okay. He's a roamer out of the 6 kills that his team does have. But now we are back in the game. D-Renji Devil is back in the game as well. So it's back to the match game time again. That will be the cannon blast being popped by Qing Ling again. But for now, there's no pickoffs just yet. Freezing Esports though, they are now come together as well, except a lane that decided to just hold the fort at the mid lane because Haino Mayosotis is right here.
Yes, so we are back off that pause there. So thank you for bearing with us. There is that death on sunset, but no death was to be had there from the lane. It was mainly just to deter them out of their own jungle. We have a lot of accumulation of the red team around that mid lane, around that sage buff, not trying to give it up to the enemy team. And Lamb is looking to take that overlord. First overlord of the match gets taken down by AGHK. Again, like we were seeing in the first match, we barely saw any overlords being taken. But what has been taken from AGHK is that the Renji being picked up there by Athena. Normally we don't get any kills on Athena when they're played in competitive. They just normally go around like Casper the Ghost, but this time it is a deadly ghost. It's more like paranormal activity on the Athena currently on Freezing Esports.
Man, this feels like a hazy dream because that is something we really don't see every day, but looks like Fable is being targeted yet again. I mean, he's in the lane, he will be A-okay. And another Cannon Blast connecting. This Muzi knows his positioning and his timing, but looks like right now at the farm lane towards AGHK's side, Freezing Esports trying to overwhelm their opponents. But now looks like they might be rotating over to the mid lane. Dream is just quietly hiding. You can always face check with Mosey, but never mind. They decided to let that one go. People again being spotted out here by this Hino was able to pop in with the leap of faith, but now you have Gun and Mo with all of those couples blade. Cannon Blast connects onto two, but here comes Hino again with a jump in, again using leap of faith, but with that, no casualties. Freezing Esports, they will not be freezed down. They kept on rotating. They kept on trying their best to know where their opponents are.
Yep, Snow with that mighty macro there. Focusing the clash lane now, only to be aided by Lamb and the Shadow Vanguard, potentially taking some hits on that second tier turret. Derenji picking up that Spark Forge dagger as well, so we're going to get that chained lightning basic attacks there. So a little bit of a zap to the back line, which could potentially sway the enemy team away from an engage, especially with how fast Derenji can attack with his basic attacks. Lamb helping himself to the Sage, but actually, no, he's literally in the bush. There's no Sage buff there. He's waiting for a gank onto Gan and Mo. Goodbye, Irene. Down goes one of the biggest damage outputs for the side of Freezing Esports, and currently it's looking not too hot here for Devil. He may have to pay with his life. The Death on Sunset is not quite fulfilling just yet, and Dream goes down as well because Moosey's in here. CC immunity is still not going to be enough for a lane to survive that barrage from the blue team, and now they're not done. They're still taking that second tier turret in the farm lane.
3-none trade in favor of AGHK plus an objective in their pockets. Looking at the goalie right now, it's roughly a 3K in favor of AGHK. I did not mean for that to rhyme, but I'm happy that it did. So I think the strength of the lineup is really all about those quick fights. Ooh, so much damage from Hino. I mean, that is one of their main damage dealers. But let's see if the damage will really hurt. So far, no pains, no ouches here just yet because AGHK managed to disengage just in time. They do have their eyes set on this mid lane turret though, while FE, they're quiet. They just want to get their buff, and they actually left KK alone in the clash lane. Maybe to let their Arlie farm, make sure that she gets the ample items before they start something. The start of something new. Maybe.
Yeah, I think that mid lane turret was just the unfortunate victim there because it had to fall, and there was a damage limitation on the side of for Freezing Esports that time around, so they had to let that fall for everybody to be present at this Shadow Tyrant, because we could see AGHK get that. That is a massive damage buff for the side of AGHK. But they could also just give it up and decide to push this mid lane, put a bit more pressure on the side of Freezing Esports. Nope, they are definitely retreating back to that Tyrant. They want that damage buff for the whole team, and Mayeen taking down the Arlie as well. So before they even get the damage buff, Arlie goes down. Hainu going for the flank back, teleporting with his ultimate there, trying to put more oppression onto Fable. Well, Fable tries to catch out Snow in the bush. There is the death on Sunset, but it's not going to be another death. It should just be on Sunset, because currently right now, Elaine's getting no deaths. He is just dying.
That's true. Looks like he is getting the shorter end of the stick, or at least from what's happening so far. I have to say though, Snow on this Mayeen, I love how he used and utilized this hero. But anyway, going back to the match, that will be another mid lane turret taken down. KK did try to target Mosey, but with another cannon blast, looks like this Peace Bringer will be able to bring chaos onto their opponents, because I think inside the box will be popped there as well. And now Snow is on the killing spree. We thought it's going to be a game number 3, but it looks like AGHK, they close it out with a 2-0. There is a trend today. Our teams, they don't want no game 3s.
Absolutely. I think we've picked the wrong bracket for a best of 3 there, Yuko, unfortunately. But, I mean, that game, though, was still very entertaining. I definitely enjoyed match 2 rather than match 1, even though Omega Nemesis was a fantastic team. I can't wait to see them go against AGHK tomorrow. Because if Freezing Esports can do that to AGHK, what is Omega Nemesis going to have in store for them?
Exactly. So it's all of these questions that thankfully will get answered tomorrow. I don't have to overthink. I don't have to wait for a week, because we will be seeing those matches tomorrow. Make sure you guys set those alarms, okay? Because these are going to be very, very good matches. I think I want to talk about the Zhongfei. Aside from series number 2, even in series number 1, he was so effective. But for now, here are the highlights from that previous game. We've seen Freezing Esports, they were able to move a lot more freely in the early game, but like the pun that you said early on, it seems like Fable on this lane was not able to match or get his win conditions. In retrospect, Snow on this Mayin was able to get a lot of pickups right on cue. See, that was the first kill for her end, and there were a lot of good rotations for AGHK. I think they were also able to protect Zace, which I think this will be the first victory for DRNG today. And I've said this earlier, Muzi on for their team really helped a lot. It was just perfect, you know, layering of the skills, timing. They don't even need an Athena to get the vision.
Yeah, Muzi is definitely the leash that is needed for the beast that is Zhongfei. So hopefully some of these teams going into the regional finals will realize that the Muzi pick has great weight to it. But like you're saying, the fantastic rotations from AGHK, but they have heroes like Mayin who can fly over walls. You have Lamb that can dash over walls. Again, the only person that can't do that is Muzi and Derenji, but they don't need to. They have the weight behind them and the utility of the stuns, the damage, and that's what made it a perfect team comp there for AGHK. But looking at the post-game stats, you can see that Devil took 716. There was still some deaths on the board, which I really enjoy. The fact that Freezing Esports just didn't have that one-off match. They actually managed to still sort of try and face this beast head-on without Zhangfei actually being against them. But again, Derenji not quite activated until late game, with him being a late game hero, but definitely gave aid to his team nonetheless. But I think props goes to either Snow or Devil once again on this MVP pick for game 2.
Man, looks like DRNG's basic attacks are the ones that made things happen. And if there's anything I learned today, ban Lamb. I don't care what my teammates think. You really need to ban this here out. I mean, of course, with the skill cap, the players were able to use him and, you know, make him snowball. But yeah, I wouldn't want to be up against that kind of hero. It's a no for me. How about you, Blam?
Yeah, definitely not in this scene. I mean, even in my solo queue ranked games, I'm literally always spamming ban Lamb, ban Lamb, ban Lamb. But oh, we are. Well, I'm incorrect again. You gave no vision to your MVP, but it is the guy that cannot be named by me because I will completely butcher it. But it goes to the mid lane on the side of AGHK there, and there you can see it. They have both qualified to the regional finals, so no matter what happens tomorrow, both of these teams are going to go through to the regional finals, which is obviously an offline LAN. But I give both props to all the teams played today. They played fantastically. I don't know if you have any closing words, Yuko.
Man, that was I'm kind of sad we only got 2-0s here, but I'm happy because it was very action packed and we got a lot of really good analysis out of it. I'm slowly starting to see the meta being formed by the teams. I mean, there are consistent picks here. I honestly was surprised that Haino doesn't get banned all the time because, again, from my region, we don't let that hero breathe. Okay, he does not exist in our game, but here he does get some few moments here. We also even saw an Angela being picked up today, so very diverse. I had fun. So how about you? What are your thoughts about our 2-0s today?
Obviously, we always wanted a more best of 3s, but 2-0s, we'll take it, but we'll have a best of 7 tomorrow in the grand finals between AGHK and Omega Nemesis. So if you guys in the chat and girls have enjoyed the games today, make sure to tune in tomorrow for a best of 7 between these best of teams in the wildcard qualifiers. I've been Blam, and with me, Yuko. We will see you guys tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen, gamers and champions, welcome to the 2024 Honor of Kings Open Series Split 1. Get ready to see the convergence of skill and strategy as teams from various realms come together to compete for glory. This is your chance to witness the rise of Titans and be part of this ongoing epic. The road to the final will unfold in 2 stages, the round of 16 to the finals and the grand finals. In the first stage, 4 regions will take part. Turkey, EEU will compete on May 16th to 17th, followed by MENA and the mysterious wildcard on May 18th to 19th. Only the 2 most resilient teams from each region will advance to the prestigious EMEA Regional Finals, which will be held from May 30th till June 2nd. 8 teams will face off in an electrifying offline showdown. A staggering prize pool of $23,000 is waiting for those who are brave enough to seize it. Those who demonstrate unparalleled skill and control of the game. Join us, witness the path journey of champions and of history in the making.